All right, so first things first, I want to thank you guys for all the love that you showed on the last tutorial about how to make beats with stock VSTs. I am going to do another one that uses all stock plugins as well. You know, on this channel, we do a lot of R&B, and it's been a little while since we've done some R&B, so we're about to do some R&B today. Let's go. All right, so I have a chord progression right here that I made yesterday. I really like this chord progression, but I stopped right here because I wanted to make a full tutorial about it. So I'm actually going to break down how I created this chord progression step by step. Inside of my Loveless bank, I went with piano 4. This is one of my favorite pianos from the bank, especially when you add some reverb to it. This bank is dedicated to R&B and trap soul specifically, 50 presets that are just perfect for it. And there's one shots available for it too. Let me show you how it sounds. All I did was add some Valhalla vintage reverb to it, nothing too crazy. And we're at 96 for the BPM. We're in B minor. So I'm going to show you it first, then I'll explain it and rebuild the chord progression step by step. And I'll also probably give you the MIDI or the full loop for this. So stick around for the whole video. But let's hear how this chord progression sounds right now. So I started off with a B minor 7th chord. So we have B, skip a note in the scale, place. So 2 spaces, skip a note in the scale, place, 3 spaces. This gives us the B minor chord. This is a B minor triad. I skip another note in the scale right here and place. You see the repeating pattern of 2, 3, and 2 spaces if you're not like just looking at me skipping notes in the scale. And this gives us the B minor 7th chord. And then for the bass, all I did was take the B and bring it down here, just a lower octave. So the next thing I did was just take this chord, bring it over here, took the second note right here and sharpened it. So we're at D sharp. And because there's 3 spaces here, 2 spaces here, 2 spaces here, we get the B dominant 7th chord. This note is outside of the scale. That's going to happen a lot in R&B when you're trying to make it. And with a lot of dominant chords, you are going to get notes that are outside the scale. So now we have the B dominant 7th chord. So that was pretty simple, right? We just have our 2 chords. And then we have a little melody right here that starts. So I'll explain that right now. All I did was find 2 tension notes, which you could see are right here. I like to look for tension notes that are like right above the last notes that I'm playing in the chord. So it ended up just being these 2 right here. And then I went down and then I hit B right here and dragged it out about 2 bars. I actually didn't build this right away. I built the chord first, but I just wanted to explain it because it's easily right there. So then we get into the next chord. So there is some inversions going on here. So I'm going to build this backwards so you can kind of see how it makes sense from the beginning. So if you look at it, it's actually just a G major 7th chord right here. But there's an inversion there. And then we also took this D right here and dropped it down an octave. So I'm dropping from B down to G, and I built out a G major 7th chord. So skip a note in the scale and place, skip a note, place. There's 2, skip a note, place, back to 3. So we get 3, 2, 3. It's the opposite of the minor chord right here, 2, 3, 2. So we have the major chord, right? Then we have the B layered up top that we already have for the melody, which is going to be right here. This is still going to be the same chord, but I actually wanted this to be the bottom note. So I just went down here, placed it here, and then brought it out 3 bars. All right, then we move on to the last 2 chords, which are pretty simple. So if I bring this over here, I'll explain what I did. It's actually pretty easy. So then we had the repeating B right here as well, but I took this one and went down an octave, control down arrow. And then because the melody was descending right here, I wanted to go from B down to A right here just to kind of complete it. So that just gave us a nice little passing chord, and it shares this bottom note right here. And then I wanted to build another dominant 7th chord over here. So I went from B down 1 note in the scale to A, and all we do is skip 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, place, skip 1, 2, place, 1, 2, place. Now we get the A dominant 7th chord, but I decided to take this G right here, shift down arrow and flatten it. And then for the bass, all I did was drop down to this C sharp right here. And then we'll hit Control A, Control Alt C to export this out. And what we're gonna do is render it out and then drop it down like, I don't know, a couple semitones or whatnot, and then mess with it and just get this to sound like even more emotional. Ooh. Yeah, I like that. All right, so now I want to get a vocal on this. So I'm going to go on to splice. I'm going to sort by G minor since we went down by 400 semitones, which I'll show you after. Find a vocal and then we'll go from there. The reason we're in G minor now, if I go back into this piano real quick, is because we were at B right here, but then we went down 4 semitones. 1, 2, 3, 4, which put us to G. So we're at G minor. And what I'm going to do is put this on stretch and bring the time out to like 8 bars and just see if this sounds cool. I'm also going to get an EQ loaded up and shaper box, which I'll adjust after, but let's just hear what it sounds like. Probably gonna have to turn it down more. So I'm gonna let you guys hear it while I do the processing. Ooh. That sounds crazy. And I want to get some textures going real quick, just in the background. So I'm gonna go into the Broken Hearts kit and I'm gonna make an effects processing for textures. So for this, it's honestly a lot of the same stuff, like big reverbs, EQs and stuff like that. So let's go in here and I'm just gonna really have it be like low mid-range for this, and then we'll probably put like a delay on it as well. We'll do like delay 3, bring this down, that should be fine, and then go in here and get some like percussion, something like that, put it here. You know what I'm saying? Just go like get creative with it. See what else we can get in here. With the processing, it always sounds cool. See, there we go. We could even drop it down like a whole octave. There we go. It's really just about trying to get like a little bit of a vibe going. Try it on the first one right here. That's it. It's just a couple little percussions like that with effects. Sounds crazy. All right, just to add in a little bit more like textures and background noises, I got Piano 3 right here from Loveless, and I ran it into the same effects that were on the percussion, but I just made it its own little spot right here. Just like that. So let's go over here. Let's go to arcade. We can go to instruments right here, so we're not using samplers. So after looking through a couple, I ended up finding this Embrace one right here from the Honey Bank, and it has some really cool like percussion and pad sounds to it. So by itself sounds like this. So that is with the processing. Without it, it sounds like this, which is still a really cool sound, but for the beat, I want it to be a little bit tucked in the back. I'm gonna just hit record, render this out this way, and then drag it into the project, and maybe we'll use it for like a transition part. If you haven't tried Arcade and you're interested in trying it, I do have an affiliate link in the description, which will give you a 30-day free trial, so make sure to check that out. All right, so I got some drums loaded in. This kick, this snare, and this snap are from my resupply drum kit, and then this hi-hat right here and this 808 are from the Broken Hearts drum kit. That roll always sounds good right here towards the end of the first bar. We can go down here. I think it's D sharp and then down one. Ooh. Somehow missing some snares. And then we bring in the kick, and we have the kick hit like way too much, but perfect into the soft clipper. So we could just go like this and find how we want it to be played, like the rhythm. I keep starting it late. Maybe like a big gap like that. That's kind of fire. Let the vocal play out. I gotta figure out where I want it to play right here though. I feel like that one's too predictable. I like this big space right here though. That was kind of cool. All right, so I really like how this one came out. At first, I was kind of going for more of like a sadder R&B feel to it, but now it kind of has like a trap soul feel to it with the drums. I was just gonna go with like a rim or a snap and kind of have it slower, but it just didn't really fit. I feel like these drums just ended up fitting it a little bit better, but I'm gonna arrange this real quick, mix it a little bit, and we'll hear the full beat. As always, appreciate you watching. If you're interested in my kits, there'll be a link to those in the description. Make sure to join the Discord, a link to that in the description as well. Let's hear the full beat.